Listening to RTI Audio, powered by Rocky Top Insider. This is Pancakes and Bacon with VFL, Kerbyson, and Reed Bacon.
Hello, Vol Nation. Welcome to another episode of Pancakes and Bacon. I'm your host, as always, Kerbyson, joined with Reed Bacon. Got another great one. Just going to be talking a little transfer portal stuff, maybe a little college football playoffs. Quick one for you, but just want to get it out this week before Christmas. We'll be taking a little break until the bowl game, and then we'll have one right after the bowl game. So if you guys are watching, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment. If you're just listening, rate, review, download, and re-download. Follow us on all those listening platforms. Also, follow us on social media. Everything is in the description below. Before we jump into everything, most importantly, Reed, how we doing, bud?
Tighten up. Let's go.
Tighten up, yeah. The 2-win Titans. Let's tighten up.
Hey, my screen is not showing me our banner. I don't know if that's showing up on yours. I just want to make sure that there's no issues.
Yeah, I got it. I got it on my end, so we're all good.
Okay. I don't know why it's doing that to me. It's kind of throwing me off here. Maybe there's something I can click.
Can you still see me?
Oh, I got you. Perfect. I got that beautiful face.
That's all that matters.
That's true. Okay. So, anyways, tighten up. I know we're 2 wins. And I know that wins hurt us at this point because we need better draft picks. But, dude, when you're a fan of the team and you feel for those players and coaches and just going week to week, getting your ass beat, I mean, it is awesome to get to see them get a win, especially at home. You know, knock Gardner Minshew out of the game for the Chiefs. So now the Chiefs are on their third-string quarterback. I mean, they have fallen off hard in the past couple weeks. But it's great to see. I'm doing well. How are you doing? You had a little Christmas this weekend.
I had a little bit of Christmas this weekend. Saw my mom and sister and brother and his fiance, which is nice. Getting to see the fam, exchanging some gifts, doing a little Secret Santa with everybody. I got a little. John picked me, so I got he got me this little kit of Tennessee golf stuff, so it had like a divot fixer and a couple different putting markers and
ball markers,
little cute thing. And then he got me a beard bib, which is one of those ones you can you wrap it around your neck and then you attach it to your mirror and it catches all your shavings.
Oh, I didn't even know they made those. That's electric.
So it catches all your shavings and stuff. So I'm going to try that today after the
Let me know if that actually works because this is funny. We've never talked about this. And obviously I didn't start shaving until I was like 30 years old. Unfortunately, I'm such a baby. I go up to my garage and we have whoever owned the house before us put a mirror in the garage on the back of the door. So I literally go to the garage to do my trimming so that I don't have to worry about it in the house.
I mean, is it not just collected on how do you collect your trimmings?
So it just goes into the floor in the garage and then I leaf blow stuff out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would always just catch it on a towel and then I would take everything off the countertop of the sink, put the large towel over it, do it, and then take the towel and flip it outside, just outside the yard.
Petey Pablo style.
Yeah, a little bit, like a helicopter.
The other thing is too that's a secret is if you do let it just go into the sink, don't water and try to get everything down the sink because it clogs your sink up. So what I'll do is I'll get a damp. If it's not a ton of hair, I'll get a damp Kleenex and just dab it up out of the sink and then just put it in the toilet. That's been a nice one too.
Yeah, that's a great one. So I'm excited to use that. And then I got him a level laser that he can from Home Depot, so he can throw that up against the wall when he's trying to hang some new stuff and everything like that. Because they just got a new place, so they can set all that stuff up. But
I would have been, even if you guys did Secret Santa, if John didn't pick you, I'd have been a little annoyed if John didn't get you something. It's like, dude, you gotta get your big bro something.
no, it's fine. No. But yeah, I got a few days off this coming week from work, so I'm gonna do some home things.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to the boss to see if I get a few days off work for the holidays.
Yeah, the boss.
So bacon junk removal. I can't see it, but I'm gonna say, oh, that made everything pop up.
Well, there it is.
Nice. Now I get to know what the hell we're talking about. Bacon junk removal. Merry Christmas to all of you, you filthy animals. From Bacon Junk Removal, I hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas. Don't forget the reason for the season. And we're fired up to see you in 2026 with Bacon Junk Removal. Okay, saying that, we just found out like 15 minutes ago that Peyton Lewis was entering the transfer portal. So before we talk about the CFP and portal quarterback and stuff like that, what is your initial reaction? Go while I continue to eat.
I mean, we've talked about Peyton Lewis a few times on the podcast about his skill level and where he is at, and how I've wanted him to find who he is as a running back. So if he leaves, I ain't that upset. If he stays, I'm rooting for him to figure that out. But like right now, it's like there's still guys ahead of you in my head right now. So you know what? I get it. Go try and find somewhere else, I guess, that will let you play, that might not have as high standards as I do about how you run the football.
So you feel totally fine being like, all right, Deshaun Bishop, Dwayne Morris going in next year, and then whoever else they bring in.
Yeah, I mean, I always like I said in the last podcast, I always want depth in every position. So like it does suck when guys leave just based off that. But like this is not the guy who's making difference in the game, who's winning me football games, I can trust when I really need a yard. It's a guy that I thought looked good in his recruiting film, and I hope that he could build into something, but he hasn't gotten there yet. And all right, now we got another spot for somebody else.
So I always try to remember my very initial reaction upon seeing the message for the first time, whether it's a text message from a buddy, whether it's Rocky Top Insider, which was what I saw today. And I'm like, okay, bang, there it is. Like, how do I feel? Like this, I just read it. He's entering the transfer portal, and meaning whoever he is. And I saw Peyton Lewis, and I said, okay, I understand it. I think it's important to remember and to keep in mind that this could be a mutual thing. This could be a Tennessee talking to him and being like, Peyton, we really like you here. You've done some really good stuff for us. You've been a great teammate. You've been a great vol. You're more than welcome here, but like we're gonna have to take a little bit, or we're not gonna be able to increase what you want. Maybe he went to them wanting more. Maybe his representatives went to him wanting more, and those things just weren't going to be the case. Peyton could see the writing on the wall that Deshaun Bishop is the guy, and Dwayne Morris is going to be there. He's probably smart enough to know that they're going to bring in another guy. If they were probably going to either run it with him, Dwayne Morris, and Peyton Lewis, maybe they bring in another guy. So it's like, hey, you know that there's going to be at least 3 dudes next year like there was this year. Mm-hmm. And this year was his opportunity to really take the bull by the horns and go.
Yeah.
So for me, I understand this one. I'm okay with it for both sides. Like, I'm not like, oh, dang it, this one really hurts. I will tell you that if there is a part of me that's a little bit bummed, it's not necessarily him on the field, and it was him more as a leader, as a locker room guy, and as a culture guy, because it does seem from stuff that you see that he was one of the guys that was like wanting to rah-rah, like, hey, let's be physical, let's bring it to them, let's run hard, let's be a vol and help build what Heupel wanted to build. So I think it's more that, like, losing that kind of stinks more than any production he had on the field, because on the field he was fine. Some good moments, some head scratching moments, some really good moments, some bummer moments. So for me, I just think that's a guy that can help with the team overall. But you got Deshaun Bishop, and not only is Deshaun Bishop better on the field, he's a good culture and locker room guy and teammate guy in that specific position or group, and he's a great story. So it's like if Peyton Lou is leaving to get a better opportunity for himself, puts more money in Deshaun Bishop's pockets, or right. So it could be technically a win-win situation for everyone involved.
Yeah, and I love that you made that statement. Just like the character part of losing the guy, not necessarily all about his play, because I do think that is important on a team.
Yeah,
and I really like the guys who might not get the playing time but are still there to fight for the team in any way they can. Right? Hey, I can't get the playing time, but man, maybe I can give some pointers to one of the other running backs on like blitz. Like, hey, when this safety does this, get ready. They're going to send the nickel. Like, if you see that, right? Or just straight up like giving a guy kudos, giving a guy confidence that might need it in order to play well. Because I've seen a lot of guys. I was partly like that too, where I need that confidence so that I believe in myself and feel like I can beat anybody out there.
Yeah.
And some guys need that. And like when there are those certain coaches that are the MFers and I'm going to, break you down and stuff like that. Sometimes it is like the guys next to you in the meeting room that's like, hey dude, you're doing great. Like, just like keep your head down, keep working. You're going to be fine.
Hey, that's just how Coach Bacon is. Like, don't
exactly. Yeah. Like don't let it control like the way you play moving forward, or like, like, hey, take in what he's saying, and like, hey, you do need to get better at that, but don't take it as like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, or I don't know how to play football. Like, you know how to play football. Like, be confident in yourself. Yeah. So,
it's very much like, hey, they said this to me my freshman year, and now I'm here. Like, it's fine. So
yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of guys that I'm dismissive of when I see them into the transfer portal. I'm like, yep, like totally fine. Want the best for them, want the best for Tennessee, but like it's not happening here. But this one, like I said, I think there could be some effect in a locker room. But when you still have Deshaun Bishop and Dwayne Morris, and it's early enough to know who you want to go get in the portal, like I'm fine. And honestly, I don't even forgive me, but like I don't even know with this class that we just signed if there's a running back in there that I'm going to really like. So that's
and I think like Heupel and his team and like what he likes, he wants a two-headed monster. He doesn't necessarily like search for three. It's like nice that I have it, but I want the two to work. So
that's just kind of set up. Yeah, and I'll be interested. The last thing I'll say on him, and I remember where I was when we signed him. I was running sprints or doing cardio. So needless to say, when we signed him, it didn't take much for me to be like, I need a little break to watch this film for a second. So I stopped. I got a breather, stretched the hammies out, started watching. I was like, dude, I really like this guy a lot. Like, he's a one cut, hit it, burn, go, speed for days, track guy. He wasn't as good as I would have hoped him to be, but like I said, he wasn't bad. But I say all that to say, just now, when I was getting ready for this pod, and I I saw it on Rocky Top Insider, but then I wanted to see on 3 and how they listed it, because sometimes they're like star running back. I'm like, hey, chill out. Like there's some misleading, but it did say that he was the number 4 overall running back in the class, and I was like, damn, like that's crazy. Like he was a big get for Tennessee, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, he was here 2 years, or I guess 3 years maybe. So like he gave it his time. So but that was crazy. I didn't know he was the 4th overall in the nation.
Yeah, it is kind of weird to look back on, but sometimes those guys just like they got it for high school ball, but they don't necessarily have the next gear to hit.
Yeah.
But
all right, what did you think about the games?
Well, 2 of them were a little bit of a waste. It just, the way they have the system set up and the way that shit has fallen, it's just kind of like there's got to be something done about it. There's a lot more things that need to get fixed with it for it to be a perfect product. In the end, the top 6 teams are the only ones that I truly believe have a chance to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were last year number 9 and very much on the outskirts, and very much like we need shit to bounce our way to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's always going to be the case. I think 1 through 6 is the real deal. And outside of that, it's probably not going to happen. But the way the ACC is set up and how and who gets to play in their conference championship made it to where the number 24 team in the country got a chance to play in the 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
And it's that doesn't make sense. You would have thought, oh, Duke messed up, so then one of the other teams, like a Notre Dame or a Texas or a Vandy, would have gotten in.
Yeah.
But no, we're going to bring in a team that has, done okay for what they've done this year, but is nowhere near the rest of them.
Mm-hmm.
We're also going to set up 2 first-round games that are rematches of games played earlier in the season, Tulane, Ole Miss, and Alabama, Oklahoma. We're also going to not ding Ole Miss because they lost their coach, even though we dinged Florida State 3 years ago because they lost their quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
It's just all over the place. It really is. But going into the playoffs, in my head, I go Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia, Texas Tech, Oregon. And that was it. Those are the only teams that I was like, I could see it. Everybody else was like, good luck. I don't know if you guys are ever going to have a chance. Don't believe in Ole Miss. Didn't believe in Texas A&M. Didn't believe in Miami. Didn't believe in either of those shitty-ass teams. Don't believe in Oklahoma and Alabama because we played them. I saw it firsthand with my own eyes and was like, this is not a national championship team. So I don't know. It does kind of annoy me, but I hope that it will eventually kind of figure itself out.
Sure.
All that to say, Texas A&M, Miami. We'll start there.
Let's do it.
That was some shitty quarterback play. That was the chance for both of those guys to kind of get the haters off their backs and to prove their worth as a top-tier paid quarterback. And it's in those scenarios that you really go, oh, I need a full team here to win games. And I cannot just pay $4 million to my quarterback and everybody else makes $100,000 and just try and depend on him to do it, because there's not that many guys that you can just depend on to pick up the reins and just take over the game for you and make it work. It just doesn't happen. Miami thought Carson Beck was one of them. They might still think that, but he ain't. That ain't it. And Marcel Reed is a point I made 2 podcasts ago, a running quarterback. And that is all he is. That guy has no accuracy. And I remember when we were watching after we played Georgia, me and you went back to your house. And we were watching that Notre Dame Texas A&M game to finish, and I kept being like, "This team, neither of these teams really want to win this game. They keep giving it away. That Marcel Reed is not. He's not making good decisions. He's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, and they somehow got away with it and won that game. And I think it just finally." It bit him in the butt. It finally happened where it's like, oh, yeah, like all we can depend on is his legs. And that's it. Like his 2 interceptions were the worst thrown balls I've ever seen. That guy it wasn't like he was getting pressured really bad. He was he was throwing it to the right person. So like he knew the right read to make. He knew that this person on the second slant is going to be open in the back of the end zone. So I'm going to throw it to him. And his first pick, he knew that, hey, they're splitting their end zone. I'm going to have a seam in the middle to throw this post to, but he cannot complete the fucking pass. Like he can't make it an accurate throw. And that's just like his skill level as a passer. It's just not there. That's what lost them the game. And I don't know how Texas A&M fans felt throughout the year, but I just felt watching him throughout the whole year. I was just like, this ain't it. Like he's just not it. That's not what's going to win you the ultimate prize.
Sure. So a lot of stuff there. I'm going to start with this, that for the 2 games that actually mattered, I was surprised that both home teams – well, I'm not going to say surprised that both home teams lost, but that's a tough pill to swallow. And I'm sitting there thinking, if I'm Tennessee and I'm in Neyland and we're up 17 and any team comes back on us to beat us, that's brutal, especially a team we just beat a month ago. So that's tough. And the fact, I know we're not on this game yet, but the fact that John Mateer broke that tackle, rolled out, threw an absolute perfect ball, and it got dropped, and that one made it 24-7. That is, you're waking up as Oklahoma fans just like a gut punch. Now, back to the Texas A&M Miami game. I think what you said to start talking about the CFP is what I also think, and a lot of people, like I think a lot of people that you listen to, whether they're just a common fan or people that do this for a living, like I'm listening to Ryan Russillo and he's going to have, like Bruce Feldman on or David Pollock recently he had on, and it's like whatever it's, it's Ole Miss or it's Indiana, Indiana, Ohio State, Oregon, and Georgia, and maybe one other one. And for me, I still don't know. Like those are the higher tier ones. But like I said, you made the perfect comment last week. They all have deficiencies. They're all beatable. There's some little chink in the armor, which, like I said, is going to make for great playoffs, in my opinion. But I agree with you that, like, I was never sold on A&M all year. It's the same song and dance for multiple teams. A&M, kudos to them for beating the people on their schedule, but they were very fortunate to not play a lot of the better other SEC teams. They finally get Texas, they lose to Texas. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They potentially should have lost to a 3-win South Carolina team, but South Carolina still has some dudes on their roster. So I'm not surprised there. Miami, they're fine, but I've not watched them, and I think again how you said it, you don't see Miami and think, wow, national championships. Now they're in the dance. So they've got a chance, but it's like I don't watch them and be like, their 2025 national champions. But I didn't catch a ton of that game, but I did get to catch what matters, and I know that the wind played a big factor, and that they missed you had some you had some field goal mishaps and things of that nature. I think if I'm a Texas A&M fan, and when that Miami guy made a heck of a hit and tackle down there on the goal line, it didn't get reviewed for targeting. I don't like targeting. I don't like the roughing the passer as a football guy, because I believe that is football. Big hits is football. Now, sure, I'm glad that it's become a little bit more safe and you don't have safeties leaving their feet and just putting their crown on their helmet into somebody. That's fine. I'm happy to take that away. But a good, clean, just football hit when I'm lowering my shoulder to my head and I blast a buddy, and you just immediately know now. You just immediately know, like, that's a flag. And it's like, what else is the safety supposed to do? What else is the linebacker supposed to do? Or what else is the defensive lineman supposed to do when he's hitting a quarterback? So it's like, I get frustrated there. But if those are the rules we're playing by, if I'm an A&M fan waking up today, I'm like, dude, we should have had the ball on the 1 yard line and be able to run it in. But then again, Marcel Reed can't make that throw. And that's what I've said this whole time is like, am I really upset that Tennessee didn't get Marcel Reed a 3-star from NBA in Nashville, Tennessee? I'm like, I don't think so. He's fine. No. He's fine, but like I don't think if Marcel Reed's our quarterback, he's winning us any extra game. So, I don't know. But that's all I have on that one. The one that was really, to me, I sat and watched basically the entire game was that Oklahoma and Bama. And going into it, I really didn't know. If I had to take a bet, I think I probably would have taken Oklahoma just because they were at home. And then that game starts out, and I'm like, wow, Oklahoma's rolling and Bama is dead.
Yeah.
And that's why it's a four-quarter game, and they came back, and, like, kudos to them. But like I said, when John Mateer broke that tackle and he threw that ball and it hits that, and I get it, the guy's a running back, he's not a receiver, but it hits his hands and he drops it. A, he could have walked – if he catches it, he could have walked in the end zone.
Yeah, easy.
But B, if you just catch it, and if you fall down, that's another.
Also, Mateer had a first down if he ran it.
True.
Like, he could have just gotten a first down, the drive continues, and they still have more chances. And he was like, oh, look at this great opportunity I have in front of me. I'm going to throw it to him.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't fault him for that. I would have done the exact same thing. I think he should have thrown it to him.
Yes.
But then it's like, hindsight. You look back and you're like, oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
If I knew that he wasn't going to catch it, it could have just easily been a first down. We keep going. And, I mean, the mistakes that Oklahoma made to make it to where Alabama could be in that game, that is the kind of shit we saw out of the Tennessee Volunteers this year. Just shooting themselves in the fucking foot to give the game away. I am not
a conspiracy theory guy. I will hear them. I can think they're entertaining. Some of them I'm like, yeah, I can see that. But then I keep it moving. Like I don't go down rabbit holes. I don't get like I don't have time in my life, and there's nothing that I'm going to be able to prove anyways. And I know that there's stuff that goes on behind scenes. Obviously, there's stuff that's come out with the NBA, with the betting and gambling and all that. But if I'm an Oklahoma fan and that punter just drops the ball, that was as sketchy as sketchy.
You think he's getting paid under the table to drop the ball?
I'm not saying that's the case. Maybe he was just freaking out and like, but dude, that was the when you see it happen, it doesn't look that bad. But when they show the side view, he catches it clean, he takes a step, and then all of a sudden he just drops it. And it was really, really weird looking. So, anyways, I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying it was such a bad play that it made me be like what's going on here? So
you just really don't see that ever. Like, it's very uncommon for a perfect snap to happen and the punter drop the football.
It's like, not cool.
The last time I remember it was the Michigan and Michigan State game where they blocked it and then took it back for a touchdown. They won the game.
Yeah,
that's the last time I remember a punter dropping a ball like that. Following that, the John Mateer pick six.
Oh,
to finish the half. I'm just like, holy shit, they cannot keep this lead. They're giving it to Alabama. They're literally they're like, please take this off of our plate. We don't want this anymore.
That throw was so bad too. I guess he just thought his receiver was running an out route. So it's just like, you don't have time to really read it. You just get it and throw it, I guess. I don't know, but that one looked brutal too. But what I was going to finish the point on the punter, it's not raining, it's not snowing. I don't think it was overly cold. At least in that Michigan State game, it was really bad weather. I think it was like either rainy or really, really cold. And like that guy knew the game was on the line. It was very much like it's fourth down, no timeouts. As long as you punt this kid, you win the game. And he choked. That pressure can happen. But this was nuts. But just the way that unfolded. Now, I've never thought Oklahoma was that good of a team. I enjoy watching, now that I'm over the loss of Tennessee, I enjoy watching their defense. But like that's not a national championship caliber team. It's just not. So, but I don't think Bama is either. But I mean, that's a tough pill to swallow to lose. And I hope Indiana beats the brakes off Alabama. Hope it.
I really do too. I'm praying. I am hoping and praying that they.
I don't even care about the SEC Big Ten thing. I don't, because I mean, Caleb Downs, one of the best players in all of college football, who's played in both, he came out and said it. And he was like, yeah, week to week, it's a tougher grind week to week in the SEC. Every team you're playing has dudes. And then he knew what he said. And he's like, but in the Big Ten, like still really big games, still good players. It's probably just more high end. So it's like you go and you play in Oregon and you play in Indiana, but then the next week you get Northwestern. Well, most likely
the Big Ten is now what people wanted to say the SEC was, top heavy. The Big Ten is top heavy. It's got two guys that are going to definitely be there in Michigan, Ohio State every year, and it's got a third. That could be Penn State. That could be Indiana. That could be Iowa one year. That could
Oregon.
be, you know what I mean? It's just Oregon.
I still don't even consider Oregon a Big Ten team. Like I don't, like they say Big Ten.
I know, in my head, yeah. It's not even there.
I'll be listening to a podcast and they'll be like, yeah, the Big Ten's got 3 teams that can win national championship. I'm like, Ohio State, Indiana.
Who else are you talking about?
Yeah, and then they're like, and I'm like, Oregon, like I still think Oregon's Pac-12. Like they're a West Coast team. They're not Big Ten football. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I even watched the Oregon game last night. I mean, I think they're good. Do I think they're a national championship winning team? I mean, I don't know. I'm not necessarily sold on it, but they're in the dance, so we'll see what happens. I do think this second round of games will be the best games. I think second round will be where you're going to have some of those matchups that are potentially better than the Final Four or the Final Two, maybe.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think the worst matchup might be Ole Miss, Georgia, just because like Ole Miss doesn't have their head coach.
Yeah, and I agree.
So like I think that would probably be the worst, but everybody else it's really good football on good football. And I would agree with Caleb Downs, like it's a fucking grind in the SEC to get through and play everybody. And it's less of that in the Big Ten, but it doesn't mean the teams aren't good. And if there's the, rooting for SEC or whatever, it's like, I don't want Alabama representing us. Like Alabama's, they're not the best team in the SEC. Like, I don't even think they should have been in there. Like I'm very against Alabama in every way, shape, or form. So,
Same.
And I feel like Georgia has a better chance than Alabama ever has.
Yeah, and you know what? I hope Georgia loses too. So, like, I mean, I'm all in on Indiana, and to be honest, I would be happy if Oregon won 1-2. They've been knocking at the door for years now. So I'm fine if they get one.
I love parity, so I just want a new one. That's it. Yeah. I just don't want Ohio State to win. Give me a new one, and probably not Georgia either, just because they have and Kirby has to. It's like, give me Indiana, Texas Tech, Oregon. Give me somebody new.
I wouldn't mind if Texas Tech won it. That'd be cool. Good for Texas Tech. I mean, that would have been coming out of nowhere, basically buying a national championship. But kudos for them. The last thing I'll say too about like the whole like who's better SEC this, like every year every year I just go to the NFL draft, and every year the SEC has more people drafted and they got less teams. Because I think that, like, someone made a good point. It was Russillo and David Pollock were talking, and I think last year it was like the SEC maybe had like 82 guys drafted, and the Big Ten had 75. And it's like, oh, they're catching up to the SEC, but they have 2 more teams than the SEC. So, anyways, go ahead and click that down. We're just going to talk very quickly about portal quarterbacks. This is something I wanted to bring up and talk about. I just want to we are waiting to hear what happens with Joey Aguilar. If Joey comes back, I'm fine with that. I'm not like super thrilled because I still have some memories in this brain here that scare me a little bit with Joey. But you know, it would be it'd be better than some other cases. I'll say that much. Yeah. So I think Kyler, you and I speak for both of us. We don't want necessarily inexperienced quarterback starting. If they do start, that means they're probably incredible. I've watched very little Faison Brandon. I think you can't really find highlights, but I did watch. But you can't really watch season highlights. I know he was injured, which doesn't make me feel good either that he was injured, which is just less reps. But he did come back for a state championship game, and I'll be honest, like I watched it, and it's like, okay, yeah, he's a really good player. But I wasn't like, oh, my gosh, this dude's amazing. Sign me up right now. Like, I was watching his state championship games. He had a horrendous pick. He threw a horrendous pick. And it's like little things like that. I'm like, if he's doing that in a state championship game in high school, I don't think he's going to be ready to go play Texas.
Right away, yeah.
Yeah. And then with George McIntyre, you know, people love McIntyre. You and I watched him in person. We weren't very impressed against a very lackluster Catholic team. But he's been in the program, so if he somehow starts, then that means Hype will trust him, and we're good to go. But you still got to have a portal quarterback for backup. So I got it pulled up, and I'm not naming all the quarterbacks that are in the portal. I'm specifically naming quarterbacks that you and I will know or that I personally have watched, and I was like, oh, I'm watching this guy in October thinking he's a pretty good player, not thinking that Tennessee would have a chance at him. And I'm like, oh, dang. So you got Rocco Beck, Iowa State. And I'm just going to read through them first and then talk. You got Rocco Beck, Iowa State. Josh Hoover, TCU. No, DJ Lagway, Florida. We can talk about him just because we've seen him. Sam Leavitt, Arizona State, everyone knows. Let's see. Not going to name him. The starter that got injured for Missouri, Bo Perbula. Thank you. He's in there. Dylan Raiola. And then Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati. So those are kind of the main ones to talking point. And the reason I bring this up is because if we're sitting here in December now, and fast forward all the way to August, and we're about to start the 2026 season, I'm going to be very, very disappointed if Josh Heupel and that staff doesn't have a somewhat proven commodity going in at quarterback. Because in this day and time in football, I think that's unacceptable, and I think that it's a very big disservice because of how important the quarterback position is. I'll just leave it at that. Now, for those players that we mentioned, I liked when I watched the Cincinnati kid, when I watched him earlier in the year against Nebraska, I was very impressed. I'm not saying Nebraska's great, but I was impressed with that kid. Sam Leavitt's a good quarterback. Dylan Raiola is a pretty good quarterback. I don't like him. He triggers me super, super hard. Yeah. I don't think he's as good as people think he is and as he thinks he is, but like he's still a good player. And with Heupel, I think he could be dangerous. I don't think we get him. Then you got the TCU guy, which I think is fine. Iowa State guy, I've seen him play some pretty good ball. But that's just kind of where I'm at with some of those guys. And DJ Lagway, it's like, you know, we saw him 2 years ago against Tennessee be pretty damn good and almost come back and win the game. Then we watched him this year, and we had his ass in a blender, and we didn't have a very good defense. So that one's a little up and down. I trust Heupel to improve anyone. So you would be like, well, if he did this with Hendon Hooker,
yeah,
and he got Joe Milton drafted, and he did this with a not very good Nico, and then he put Joey in position to knock off Georgia and throw for the most passing yards. I'm like, what could he do with DJ Lagway? I'm not saying I want him. I'm just saying it's super intriguing. But what's your thoughts on kind of that? And what's your thoughts on my opinion of like if they go in next year without a pretty proven commodity at quarterback?
Well, I think because of the era of college football, it's kind of altering opinions when you go into off seasons and go into seasons almost like an NFL team, because you're paying these guys and you're not necessarily everyone's a mercenary, right? They're just coming in for the time being. So when you're going into a season, you got to think win now or win later. Like the Titans heading into this season, we're like, hey, we got a good quarterback. We just picked him number 1. We're going to try and win now, but will we? Most likely not, right? Most likely not. And I wonder if that is part of it. You know, when you said, like, I wouldn't necessarily be completely upset if Joey Aguilar is back, but I'd just kind of be sitting there going, I know what Joey Aguilar is. I know how far he can take us. If I already know the outcome, what's the point of watching the movie? You know what I mean? If it is Joey Aguilar again, do I think he can be that much better? He's already 25 years old. Probably doesn't have that much more growth that he can accomplish. So then I would be like, I probably would rather have the young guy come in and try stuff. And he's a freshman, but we know that he's not going to be perfect. And we know he's not going to be the best. But if Heupel can, bring him up and make him good and do all that stuff, which is kind of what we had with Nico his redshirt freshman year, right? Like, okay, guys only played in a bowl game. Like, let's see what he does. We don't have a lot of faith, but like maybe he can grow into this. And luckily our defense was really good that year and made it to where we could win 10 games to get to the playoff. So I trust in Heupel and his ability to get the most out of quarterbacks. So in my opinion, let's go get one that he thinks he can do a lot with, and we'll see what happens. I don't think Joey is that guy. I think Joey was the best option available when Heupel lost his other quarterback. And he did the best that he could with Joey. So let's go get maybe someone who has more innate talent or skills and see what we can do with them. Some of those names you mentioned are interesting to me. Like the DJ Lagway is kind of weird. It's like I saw some bright points in him earlier, and it feels like he's fallen off, but it's also like fucking Billy ain't shit compared to Heupel. So that would make sense why the guy's fallen off. I'm with you. I don't like Dylan Raiola at all. And he doesn't have enough skill to overshadow his character. And that's just what it is. I don't like cocky. I don't like pretending to be somebody else. So it's like, okay, you're fine. Like for a minute, Boo Carter was worth the headache, and then he wasn't. Pretty quickly after he was worth it, Yeah. So I feel like we should try and find a quarterback that can help us this next year and give Faison that year in the program to understand, to get accustomed to see what he can do. And if we hit lightning in a bottle in a Hendon Hooker, that's the best case scenario. that we could ask for. There's no guarantee that it's going to happen. But that's the little risk you take every offseason. 1 year at a time, 1 year at a time.
Let me ask you this. I kind of feel like Tennessee's kind of in a desperate mode. And I mean, I think every offseason for big programs like Tennessee are desperate modes. For example, like Michigan's not desperate because they just came off a national championship a couple years ago and they've had all this stuff. So it's like they just need to get it right. Their fans are not thinking about winning right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're Tennessee, if you are LSU, if you are I think there's a good amount of pressure on Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame next year. A little bit. Alabama's a great one. I think Oklahoma, even though both those two teams made it this year, I think those fans are wanting them to come back. I think Texas is a great one, Kyler. There's so many that these dudes are desperate because if Heupel goes into say this. The reason I'm bringing this point up is because I think Tennessee might have to overpay for one of these guys, which is a part of ball now because if you overpay a quarterback, then that's going to maybe hurt your resource allocations elsewhere on this roster. And then if you are an Auburn that paid Jake Arnold, was that the guy? Is that his name? That came from Oklahoma that they paid
Arnold, yeah.
Is it Jake? I forget. Anyways, doesn't matter. They supposedly paid him like $1 million, $1.5 million to get them 0 wins and to not play good football at all. And then it's like and then there was another list of all these guys that got paid, and it's like, dude, none of those teams were very, very good. For example, like Nussmeier, everyone thought Nussmeier was going to be great. He got, pretty good pay and didn't play well for LSU. So I think my point's made there of Tennessee might have to overpay because if you go into next year and you have George McIntyre, Faison Brandon, and somebody else that is not as proven, and Tennessee with a pretty tough schedule wins another 8 games, I'm not saying that me personally, I'm going to be wanting Heupel on the hot seat, but a lot of people are. And maybe now that I'm talking out loud, maybe I am going to be pissed because of what I just said 10 minutes ago that, I think it's a disservice and I think it's unacceptable if he goes into this football year again.
Yeah, you got to do something to change it.
Yeah,
That's what you're thinking.
Exactly. So, for me, I would probably rather us spend the money on a guy, and it's like, and if it doesn't work out, it's like, well, at least they swung, for the fence. The only thing that you're mad about then is they didn't do a good enough job of going and finding who that guy is because Ole Miss has shown us you don't have to go get a guy from a decent sized D1 program. There are good ball players out there. I mean, they went and got their quarterback, I guess, from Ferris State, and he's been awesome. So, which is funny, real quick side story. I was at Logan's wedding. Chase Cunningham, a guy that you and I both know, went to Catholic. He played quarterback at MTSU. He was telling me that Ole Miss had actually reached out to the guy who was the starter this year at MTSU to pay him to come be the backup at Ole Miss. And I think he turned them down, and then that's when they got the guy that they have now, which is pretty wild because that guy at MTSU has not been able to do what he's done. But, yeah, because Ole Miss thought that they had their guy in Austin Sanders. So it's just wild how it happens. But to be honest, fans don't care. You just got to put a winner on.
Now, hearing you say, hey, he's got to go out and spend the money to find the guy. We just had a year ago a guy that Heupel stood his ground and didn't spend the money on. And we said that was a good decision. And now we want him to spend the money on somebody, even if it doesn't turn out to be a good decision. Seems kind of.
No, that's not what I said. No, buddy, no. I think in Heupel.
You said you'd be all right with it if he swung for the fences.
If Heupel if we're giving if this is if we got a scoreboard right here, Heupel 1-0 when he told Nico to hit the bricks because Nico was not worth it and he was not going to change our season. But I'm saying now, whether you swing for the fences and pay a bunch of money or you go get a guy from Montana State, I don't care. But it's irresponsible if he doesn't bring somebody in that's at least been a productive quarterback at some level. That's for me personally, for Reed Bacon.
Hey, that's a different statement. Bring somebody in, then pay somebody, even if it's overpaying somebody.
I said even if they do overpay for somebody and it doesn't work out, at least they swung for the fences. Why
didn't he do that last year?
I think Joey was probably the best that they could do.
They had the opportunity to do it with Nico, is what I'm telling you. You had the opportunity to swing for the fences, pay the extra money to a quarterback that you think can do the job. And he said, no, I'm not doing that.
He didn't think Nico could do the job. That's the difference. Nico's in his building. He saw Nico, and he saw Nico's talent on the field and all the bullshit drama that came off of it, and he said, see ya, like, I'm out. That's not the same as going and getting a Sam Levitt that he think is, he's better than Nico and talent-wise and, like, everything you hear, he's fine. Like, those are two different stories we haven't had, in my opinion, we haven't seen Heupel go out and Tennessee go out, spend the big money, bring a proven commodity in yet. We haven't. And I don't think
that's true.
So Nico was not the proven commodity to swing to pay up for. So
okay. So let's see what kind of decision making he has in picking the right guy to swing for.
Bingo.
Gotcha.
Bingo. And I don't, like I said,
you said, hey, if he spins and the guy doesn't work out and we're still, competing with three quarterbacks, at least he swung.
Exactly.
But you're not mad at him for not swinging at Nico last year.
No, because I think that was the right decision.
Okay.
I think that's the right
Hindsight's
decision.
a hell of a thing, ain't it?
No, in the situation, I didn't want us to pay Nico. So
I didn't either, which I'm agreeing in that sense, and I'm playing devil's advocate right now, but I'm agreeing we should not have paid Nico. I love the fact that Heupel did that, but it's kind of funny in the next offseason, we're like, pay the man, like pay the guy, whoever it is to come. And I'm almost kind of like, no, maybe don't. Like, I don't know for sure. I know that they won a few games in Cincinnati. You know what I mean? Or like showed some flashes at Florida, but I don't know. I don't know more than I know if Nico's going to develop and be good. Like, I kind of almost see it as equal. Like, you got some game tape on him, but like, do you know? Do you know for sure? How can you spend that much money if you don't know for sure? I mean, Miami was fucking dead nuts sure Carson Beck was the godsend. And it's like, your fucking freshman wide receivers the reason why you win games, not your quarterback.
That's fair.
I just want to play a little devil's advocate there. Just like
that's fair. That's fair, but Miami's still in the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to win a national championship, but I don't know what was behind Carson Beck or who else they could have gotten. My point is, like, you just have to bring someone else in. And I'm saying that if you get one of these bigger name guys, you're probably going to have to overpay a little bit because that's just the market of college football right now.
Yeah.
So,
it is.
I truly do not care if I saw and it was like Tennessee just went out and got like the Heisman Trophy winner of Division I AA or Division II. Because for me, quarterback is very simple. Like, if you find a guy, we've talked about it a million times. I don't care if he is 5'11" and a little chunky. If that guy can deliver the ball on time, not turn it over, be tough as nails, and be a leader, I don't care. I don't care. That's because that's all you really need in quarterback, but that's really all you need. It's all you need in football, but it's really all you need with Heupel because Heupel is going to dial it up. I mean,
and it's more of all you need in college, like in the NFL.
Yes,
that you can't survive off that. In college, you definitely can because you can scheme guys open. You can make it to where, hey, I got this route for you, bud. Like you throw it to the third guy, he's going to be open. I guarantee it.
Yes.
Which is not the case in the NFL. You just cannot do that. Which is why there's a lot of quarterbacks who do well in college who fall apart in the NFL, and they can't figure it out.
I agree. No, agreed. So, anyways, good pod. We'll see. I mean, so we're gonna the UT plays, I think, on Tuesday of not this upcoming week, but the next week. So we'll watch that game. We'll break it down, and then we'll drop a pod maybe on Wednesday or Thursday because you'll be off work. I won't be as busy, so we're not going to drop. This will come out.
We'll try and drop early that week. That way you don't have to wait until the next week.
Oh, right. That's what I'm saying. It's like we'll drop the day after or 2 days after the bowl game, not so you don't have to wait till Sunday. And then after that, we might just have one more for the season. So, anyways, Merry Christmas. Keep the change, you filthy animals.
See you, brother. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. If you are watching, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. If you're just listening, rate, review, download, and re-download. Follow us on all those listening platforms. Follow us on social media. Again, thank you for being the best fans in the world. A Merry Christmas to everyone out there. A happy holidays for everyone out there. Been an up and down season. Very much enjoyed it. Love doing the podcast with my best friend. And we'll see you guys after the bowl game. And as always, go Vols.